Greetings, ghosts and goblins. Well, it's time for the final review of this horror month 2021. It's the 2013 remake of Evil Dead. In 1980, a girl is captured in the West and taken to a cabin with cult members. Her father immolates her, as it is revealed she is not human, but a demon. 12 years later, David Allen and his girlfriend Natalie arrive at the cabin, where they meet his strange younger sister Mia and his friends Eric, a high school teacher, and Olivia, a nurse. The group plans to stay in the cabin while Mia overcomes her heroin addiction. After several hours, Mia begins having serious withdrawal symptoms and complains of an overwhelming scent of decay, which the others do not smell. While inspecting the cabin, David discovers that the cabin cellar is littered with rotting animal corpses, a shotgun, and a book called the Naturom de Monto. Eric, despite warnings, reads an incantation from the book, awaking a malevolent force. Mia begins seeing a bloody girl in the woods and begs the group to leave. They refuse, believing she's experiencing withdrawal. Mia takes Eric's car and leaves, but while driving sees a naked girl and swerves, crashing into a tree. Mia exits the car and runs into the woods, where several vines from a demonic tree trap her. After Mia sees a demonic version of herself, a vine comes out of its mouth and enters her body, possessing her. David finds his murdered dog Grandpa along with a bloodied hammer and goes to confront Mia in the shower. He sees her scalding herself and tries to drive her to a hospital, but rain floods the road. That night, the possessed Mia shoots David. As Olivia moves to retrieve the gun, Mia overpowers her and pukes a large amount of vile substance onto her face before falling into the basement. As Natalie tends to David's wounds, Olivia goes to retrieve the medicine only to be possessed by unseen forces. When Eric discovers her in the shower cutting her cheek with a shard of a broken mirror, he stumbles backward and slips. She stabs Eric repeatedly with a hypodermic needle before he bludgeons her to death. Mia lures Natalie into the cellar, where she bites her hand, molests her, and kisses her. David opens the trap door, allowing Natalie to escape. Eric explains that according to the Naturom de Monto, the Taker of Souls must claim 5 souls to unleash the abomination. Natalie, convinced that her arm is infected, amputates it. David patches up her arm while Eric explains that Mia must be purified either by light burial, bodily dismemberment, or burning. The now-possessed Natalie attacks the pair with a nail gun, but David shoots her other arm off. Natalie returns to normal but bleeds to death in his arms. David begins to douse the cabin in gasoline in order to burn down the cabin with Mia in it. However, as Mia starts singing a song from their childhood, he decides to bury her instead. He digs the grave and heads into the cellar to try to subdue Mia, who attempts to drown him. Eric intervenes, but is fatally stabbed. David sedates and buries Mia before unearthing and defibrillating her, begging her to return to him. The demon is exorcised and Mia is healed. David enters the cabin to retrieve the car keys, but the now-possessed Eric appears and stabs him in the neck. David locks Mia out to protect her and shoots a gasoline can, destroying Eric's body and killing himself. As Mia watches the cabin burn, she notices blood raining from the sky. The Taker of Souls rises in the form of how Mia was when possessed, going after Mia to claim her soul to complete itself. Mia attempts to flee in the car, but fails. She instead crawls in the shed and grabs a chainsaw to fight back. When the abomination throws a car at Mia, it crushes her hand. She tears off her hand and slices the abomination in half with a chainsaw. Its corpse sinks into the ground and the rain stops. Mia, hardened by the events of the night, stumbles into the woods. Unknown to her, the Naturom de Monto is still intact. In a post-credit scene, an older Ash is seen in shadowed profile. He remarks, "Groovy," before turning suddenly to face the camera. That's interesting. So let's take a look at the production of this movie, beginning with the writing. Fede Alvarez and Rodo Seguis co-wrote the script, which was then doctored by Diablo Cody in an effort to Americanize the dialogue since English was not the writer's first language. The film was produced by Rainey Campbell and Robert G. Tappert, who are the producers of the original trilogy. Rainey Campbell had planned a remake for many years, but in 2009, Campbell stated the proposed remake was, quote, going nowhere, and it, quote, fizzled due to extremely negative fan reaction. However, in April 2011, Bruce Campbell stated in an Ask Me Anything interview on Reddit.com, quote, "We are remaking Evil Dead. The script is awesome. The remake's gonna kick some ass. You have my word, end quote. The film was officially announced in July. Now on to casting. Actor Shiloh Fernandez was cast in the lead male role of David. Initially, Lily Collins was scheduled to play the lead female role of Mia, but dropped out in January 2012, with Jane Levy replacing her the next month. Lutia Pucci, Elizabeth Blackmore, and Jessica Lucas later joined the cast. In November 2018, Alvarez confirmed the film's relationship to the original, quote, "It continues the first one. The coincidences on events between the first film and mine are not coincidences, but more like dark fate created by the evil book." Ash's car is still there rusting away. And now finally onto the filming. Alvarez, who also has a background in CGI, also confirmed in an interview that the film does not deploy CGI except for touch-ups. Quote, We didn't do any CGI in the movie. Everything that you see is real, which is really demanding. This was a very long shoot, 17 days of shooting at night. There's a reason people use CGI. It's cheaper and faster. I hate that. We researched a lot of magic tricks and illusion tricks. End quote. That's kind of interesting. So overall, I think this movie is pretty darn scary, and yeah, it's probably a lot more gruesome than the original, so yeah. So overall, I give 2013's Evil Dead 4 Necronomicons out of 5. Well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Evil Dead series and Horror Month, or in this case 4 Days of Horror 2021. And don't forget to tune in next year as we take a look at my all-time favorite horror franchise of all time, A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, until then, hail to the king, baby!